So now we're gonna go to the Instagram. My Instagram, we're on the saved ones already. So these ones are all really great. So we fall, we break, we fail, but then we rise, we heal, we overcome. I thought that was like really, really epic and kind of uplifting. So I liked the message a lot for that one. This author here, Jaya John, I'm actually not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but my friend sent me a quote from one of his books, and it was talking about how your boundaries need not be electric fences, and it was saying essentially that like it can be a light that resonates from within you and declares your sacredness. And I just thought that was like a really beautiful way to say that you didn't need to be harsh about setting boundaries, and that there's a good way to do it. And so this author, I find, just like writes absolutely beautifully. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I just ordered one of his books because I felt really inspired by a lot of the Instagram posts from him that I saw. So this quote says, "Your ancestors outnumber your fears. Feel your power." And I thought that was a really amazing this quote is really powerful, especially given the current climate right now. For all of our cultural heritages that are deep rooted and within us, I think that it's really a really amazing and powerful, empowering message not to forget those things and to remember where you come from. There's a long lineage of resilience, and that you are part of that. So I was really inspired by a lot of his messages, especially recently. So this one is like a really beautiful by Katia Perez, and I really liked the artwork for it and the message that just says things will get better, because they don't always need to be like really empowering. They can be things that are more geared to self-love. I'm personally, in my mantras, I really like the change aspect and the activism aspect of that we have the power to change the world around us. So those are the kind of messages that I find myself drawn to, but you might be drawn to things that are more gentle for your soul, for your person, and that's amazing too. So whatever types of messages you're drawn to, we're just going to kind of talk about a bunch of them and see how you feel. I thought this was really nice. There's a blessing in the storm. It's kind of like the idea that, you know, we can learn lessons from the hardships that we experience, and that's a good thing to look for the next time that you're in a place that's really hard. To try and pull meaning from those places can be beneficial sometimes. And this is by an artist that I follow on Instagram, Stevenson John. This one, Dream Big, I thought was really pretty. I really liked the font on it. I thought it was just kind of nice. It kind of looks like ink, so I was really drawn to the aesthetic of the white and the black. And again, same guy, really uplifting. I think it's really important to have these kind of ideas near you, because you can't really aspire if you don't have those thoughts. This one is actually a huge, same guy, Steve. This guy's been posting a lot of really uplifting quotes, and it was nice. It was really nice to find that page. And this one was huge. It was supposed to be free, be you, and it's supposed to go all three across. But I obviously saved an extra thing by accident. And then I've got a bunch of Jaya John here talking about you have the right to evolve. I think that's a really powerful message as well, that you are entitled to change, that if you are doing better than you were before, that's what matters. It's not about dwelling on the things of the past, even if they are terrible, you know. I think it's really important to be growing and to be striving to grow. So those are the ideas that you should hold on to in your day-to-day, and to be making progress. I'm not going to click on every single one, but I do want to show you a bunch of content. So there's a quote from Maya Angelou, says, quote, "Do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better." And this seems so obvious. But again, you can see the art with the mirror. I love the art that uses the mirrors. There was an artist at Standing Rock that created mirror shields, and it was just to reflect back at the RCMP and the police, like what they look like. And I thought that was like a really powerful, and I think that actually the artist from Standing Rock was inspired by an artist in the United States who had done it originally. And I think that this whole self-reflection, using self-reflection as a tool of defense is really, really beautiful and clever. So, you know, with that Maya Angelou quote in mind, I think it's interesting to see art like this, and I hope that people are learning and growing right now. We have an opportunity here collectively as a society, and I think that we've done a lot of work in the last couple generations to create those change, and it's important for us to continue to be those vessels of change and to create a better world as we move through it. I really liked this. I found this quote. This is actually the book that I ordered from him. So it says, "Freedom, Medicine Words for Your Brave Revolution." And this is going to be something that I'm going to have available in the space. I have high hopes for this book. It's a really great book from what the quotes that I've read inside of it. So this quote says, "Water will show you what freedom is. Try to destroy it and it changes form but retains its essence. Swallow it and you become it. Bottle it and it maintains its grace. Pollute it and it remains open to being cleansed. Feed it to living things and they grow more alive. Your soul too can be water for the world. And so that type of quote, like I read that and I was like, I have to buy that book. It was just such an uplifting feeling. Like I could feel my soul like when I saw those words. And so I thought that that was like a really wonderful kind of message to perpetuate. And I'm really glad that that I have the opportunity to share it with you through this workshop. So, you can make stuff digitally as well. Like the way that we're going to be talking about mantras today is, or in the next part of our videos, the way that we're going to be talking about collage will be analog, but you can totally do digital collages as well, where it's like, even if you made a painting or something, analog and you were like, I don't really know how to do the words and I don't want to just paint words onto it, you could take a picture of it, put it on the computer, bring it up in MS Paint, and then type your words on top of it, similar to what this is a page that I follow called The Mind Unleashed. And so this is a quote that says, if you want to know who your tribe is, speak your truth and see who sticks around. Those are yours. I thought the way that was phrased was really good. So, and it's true. I think that it's better to speak truthfully and have people who genuinely agree with you than to maintain the status quo, or to not speak and you know, be around people who may not have the same values as you. So I really like that quote as well. I thought that was funny. Self-love is not a light switch you flip. It is a garden you grow. Patience, dear. And again, from the same author. And I thought, so I have a lot of stuff from him, and he's got a fantastic Instagram that I would really encourage you to follow. He's got books. He's got a bunch of books that you can read. And I think that one of the things that I really love about this author is that he's like channeling the spirituality that like, it's really intense. He speaks with like a language of divinity, and I don't even necessarily know a lot about his belief systems, and I'm going to learn, I assume, as I read this book a little bit more about him as a person. So I'm really looking forward to kind of getting to know more about this author. But I just wanted to share another quote from him because it was just so beautiful and so inspiring for me. This one was kind of funny. I liked that it was on a sandwich board. It says, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. And I feel like that's a fair thing. I hope that that kind of inspires optimism, so that you're not afraid to try something so much. Like the worst case scenario is that it doesn't work out and you continue your life the way that you probably always have been. So yeah, so don't be afraid to try things. And I really like that message there. I like the colors and the rainbow of this one that says, you are doing just fine. It's going to be, I think that having uplifting messages with the rainbow and white is a color scheme that I really love. And I think that having the message of just keep doing what you're doing, I think that that's an uplifting message enough to know that like everything's good. You are enough. Just keep going. This one says, from Feeling Walker, it says, don't try to be beautiful, just be real. And that is already beautiful enough. And it's so true that the photos of women especially that I find most beautiful are ones where they're genuinely laughing and smiling. And I think that joy is just a beautiful thing regardless. So yeah, and that, you know, this is like, it's beyond aesthetic beauty, right? It's about internal soul beauty. And not to forget those things, because I think that those messages are really, really important for ourselves in a society that is very much based on aesthetics, like especially our music, our film industry, like very much so. That has the 21st century kind of been centered around, you know, the perfect body, the models, the whatever. And I think it makes it really difficult to love ourselves sometimes. So I think that messages about beauty and internal beauty and soul beauty are like really, really important. And if you felt that growing up, this might be a quote that is really good for you to have around yourself, to remind yourself that non-aesthetic beauty is just as beautiful, if not more beautiful, than aesthetic beauty. This one is one of the Gandhi quotes. It says, be the change you want to see in the world. This was kind of that original quote that I said was really inspiring to me, to try and motivate myself to be different and to contribute in a meaningful way to community and the people around me in society. And I say society vaguely because society really just means the people around you, the community that you exist in already. We can try to contribute more large scale stuff, but I think that like just starting small scale is like a really good place to kind of make meaning and kind of promote goodness. Once you start doing that, it can kind of expand from there. I liked this one a lot too. I think typography is really great. It says, I am perfectly I am a perfectly imperfect goddess. And again, that kind of like goes back to the imperfection being part of the perfection. Like all the little weird things about you is what makes you beautiful. It's not the fact that you're perfect. 'Cause if you're perfect, you'd be boring. Even symmetry in nature is something that humans look at, and we kind of like, we scan it once and we're like, okay, it's symmetrical, we're good. But things that are approximately symmetrical are more beautiful to us and more interesting to our eye, because we have to search for those differences and those imperfections, and everything in the world kind of grows imperfectly. So I think it's really interesting that, you know, to focus on the imperfections as not necessarily a bad thing, and to remind yourself that the imperfections are part of you and that that's okay. So yeah, I like the typography a lot here for this one as well, in the color scheme. This one looks like it's on craft paper and was done with stamps. But this one says, may I remember that my feelings are valid and that change can be scary. May I tend to myself with love and non-judgment during these uncertain times. And I think that that's a really beautiful, powerful kind of mantra that reads like a prayer. And I think that that can be a really powerful source of calming and self-love if you respond well to the format of prayer. This one was really inspiring. Actually, interestingly enough, this quote used to be in The Good Life. I used to go to The Good Life, so I really liked that quote. And at the gym, it was like big impact font, and so I really liked that as well. And the fact that it was like large scale, because mantras can be small, they can be anywhere like this. But then it's like once you start getting like large scale, like there's murals that I've seen that say "You are beautiful," and like those are some of my favorite. One of my favorite murals is in Sudbury, and so this was made probably as part of the Up Here festival that they've been doing every year for the last few years. And it says "You are beautiful," and it just has this geometry, and it's easily one of my favorite murals. It makes me smile every time I see it without fail. And so you know, mantras can be small scale, where it's like just a personal thing, or like, you know, the size of a picture. But then you can have mantras that are large scale, and this is meant for everybody, and this is meant for the community and for you, and it's meant for me and the people walking down the street. And I love that. I really like this one. I think I would omit this bottom text here, but I think the mantra that I might make is progress, because I think that reminding yourself that no matter what type of progress that you're making, that it's still progress is very important. Because, you know, I think that it's important for us not to undermine how slow our progress is. So this is a really, really uplifting message for me. I think that this might be the one that I work with. This one has like nice rainbows and stuff, and it says the most important relationship you have is with yourself. Just, you know, to remind you that, you know, to remind you of your self-worth. I like the sketchbook stuff, and I think that leaving yourself messages in your sketchbook, if that's something that you have, that you practice, like having a sketchbook, this can be really nice to kind of stumble upon, whether it's like next week or next month or next year. I think it's really, really nice to leave little notes for yourself to say, and this one says, you will get to where you need to be. I really like the simplicity of it, and the fact that it's like tan, lots of like earth tones here. The texture of the paper on the wall and the sunshine. It's just like a really beautiful message, and it's simple. So this one says Peabody is the artist or the author, and it says, you choose who you are, what matters, your goals, your aspirations, your dreams. You get to decide for yourself what a good life means. And I think that those things are really good. And this author has a book called Inherit the Dawn. And so if you're interested in seeing more from this author, then they obviously have more content that you can check out. This artist, interestingly, the Smile Tiles, has like a ton of fun and interesting and uplifting kind of quotes. This is an awesome Instagram page to be subscribed to if you like seeing like little quotes and mantras and really nice messages in your feed. You know, even if this tile broke, it would be beautiful, and so would you. I thought that was so nice. Like, that made me smile. I love that. Not every cloud has a silver lining, and that's okay. Old you would be stoked with present you. I love that message, because I think that that's like a really important thing for us to remember as we move through life, that, you know, 10 years ago you may not be the person that you are today, and that's a good thing. You know, to have made progress is a good thing. Yeah, and then I think that there's a couple of mantras that I kind of had seen that I had accidentally saved halfway through here. Be brave, use your wings. I liked that one a lot. And the scrapbooking is something that uses mantras like a lot in their work, where they'll add like elements of text that are often inspiring and uplifting. This one says live every day with intention, and I agree with that. It looks like there's some printmaking here that's going on, lots of different colors, and then some reverse typescript. So it looks like they had typescript and then they inverted it and then used the white text on the black background. Yeah, I think we're gonna stop there for now. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is this website. So it says this one is berries.com, and I think it's a blog, it says, but it says 50 positive quotes and messages to improve someone's day. And so these ones are quotes from other people, and I thought that they were just like really, I just really liked the format that you could kind of scroll through, kind of like a Goodreads or a Good Quotes or whatever that website is, and just see a bunch from a bunch of different people. So there's one from Dr. Seuss that rhymes, of course. This one says, Mickey Rooney, you always pass failure on the way to success. Nelson Mandela, it says, it always seems impossible until it is done. And I think that those messages are really, really important. And I'm going to leave you with this this quote from, it says, Les Brown is the author. It says, in every day there are 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact. And that one's like super positive, but I still think that the idea is there, that where it's like, even if you don't use any of the minutes of a day today to do anything useful or positive or good, that you still have that same amount of opportunities tomorrow to do something. So I think that it just reminds us that, you know, it's never too late, and there's always time to be working on yourself and to be improving and to be contributing, and, you know, in a good way to yourself and to others. So I liked the fact that as much as it's like hyper optimism, I thought that it was still something that was like worth mentioning here.